Kind of segue. What do you think about like when like some of the most iconic strains don't really, or some of them don't really even pay homage to the genetics that they came from. So, an example of this would be Girl Scout cookies, which is a Durban Poison and an OG Kush.
Yeah, nowhere
Where
in that
do we get the Girl Scout cookies from? Unlike, Blue Dream, which is a blueberry and a haze, I feel like you get a little, blue being the blueberry and the dream being the haze. So it's like I can see a little more to that.
Well, and then cookies took over as now this is their category instead of this falling under the Durban category.
Right.
But again, I think the offshoot of this hybrid made it such a unique terpene profile that now it's its own color. It's like I said, now it goes to the blues. Before it was just RGB, and now all of a sudden we've got purple. Now all of a sudden we've got pink, and these are now their own categories of colors because there's offshoots of those. Cookies has become its own hot thing, I feel, and there's so many genetics that use the name cookies in there. I'm like, where's the cookie? Like, what? Where's the flavor in this? And it's like, oh, well, it's crossed with this, this, and this. Like, well, you've lost why this is a cookies. We no longer care. I want the cookies out of it with a unique twist. Prime example again is a GMO. I don't want a GMO that has GM-no. I want to taste that funky nasty in there. Has to. Or why did you cross it in that? But usually strategically, there's a reason. The growth, the things besides the end smoke. It's like, well, I wanted the production of this.
I wanted it to flower in less than 12 weeks.
I wanted it to dump so much resin. There's a reason to do it, but it makes it tough for those consumers or those growers who have a list of all of these offshoots. Like, which one is the good one? Which one should I get out of this category of cookies? Which one should I get out of these gelatos? Which is the hitter? And the only way to know is experience. Because again, that list is marketing. That production description is probably at this point AI generated. So it's like you got to really shop till you drop, or shop and pop, and it's tough if you're by yourself. When you've got a group of people, like prime example, if you're growing this, I'm growing this all from seedsman, I'm able to find out, hey, was that banana jealousy banana-like? You say hell no. Troy says hell no. I'm like, you've grown it. No. I'm like, oh wow. Well, son of a bitch, I should grow it.
Where does the banana come from?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just a cherry atomic sledgehammer. Shout out GT. Why cherry?
Cash. Yep.
Where's the cherry come from?
Where's the cherry come from? So it's just like maybe there's a particular phenotype or a thing that came out of it. The cotton candy conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't the aroma or the flavor for a lot of people. It was the production and how it looked.
That's right.
Blueberry is blueberry. It tastes blueberry. But I've heard other people say it's because the buds grow like a bunch of blueberries. Same with runts. It's because it's a bunch of small buds. It's like, okay. It's your own personal logic, but certain things, the name should help you categorize it. I just feel. I love the fact that the offshoots of gelato or cookies keep a dessert name. So I'm like, okay, I'm expecting a dessert. As where if you have a Kush.
Green crack being White Widow and... Oh
do we have?
No, I mentioned this a while ago. Yeah, White Widow and skunk. White Widow is OG Kush and skunk.
But it's things that are almost like less desirable fit in the name.
Yes,
it's nasty. It sounds like a funk. It sounds like harmful. Like yes, versus the runts is candies versus the cookies is dessert. Like give me the logic when you hear fuel, GMO, gas names that sound like going to be like, oh, when you smell it. It may be unpleasant to some. Us, we love that funk. But then the sweets should be labeled as sweets. I don't want to grab, because again, we're shopping via look, description, and testing. We can't necessarily have an option that gives us, until there's a genetic bank, we don't really know if it has these things that we want in it, the original crosses of these lines. So if the name doesn't say it, damn it, we lost it. It's gone, because someone's going to take that and breed it into something else. And now we don't realize Durban Poison was the grandparent. Now we don't realize Girl Scout cookies was the grandma,
Yeah.
Well, one of the genetics that I feel like is kind of true to its name, and it's definitely on the list here of iconic genetics. It's been made very popular, kind of in the same era as the Gorilla Glue, which is Pineapple Express. This is something we definitely, it was made popular by the movie Pineapple Express, right? And that is Trainwreck crossed with Hawaiian. And I grew this out once before. And
that makes such sense for the name.
It does.
Trainwreck pineapple.
Because when I grew this out, it was not a very big stretcher after flipping, but it did have quite a bit of frost on it. It had a lot of gas on it, which I assume is coming from the Trainwreck side of things. And the flavor I couldn't really pinpoint. I don't really remember. It was a while ago. I don't really remember specifically pineapple, but I totally remember sweetness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So the sweetness, the fruitiness, fruity sweet, I guess some people call it, that definitely came out on the end result. And so Pineapple Express, absolutely. I personally feel like it's true to its name as far as what you're getting as the end result.
Hawaiian being the pineapple, the Express being the train.
Yeah,
right?
that's the difference. I feel like a strategic breeding, like we've been talking about precision breeding, when you're doing something for an outcome that's predictable. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. And then you take these genetics and you whitewash them out and we lose them. You know how many fake Pineapple Expresses I've had? You know what I mean? Oh my God. Between that, gelato, Girl Scout cookies, all the things we just listed in this episode, you will find a white label generic version. They're guaranteed you're going to find one from ILGM or one of these random brands that aren't even near what it is. It's just like your Run story. It's like they won't even be in the category where you're like, yeah, it's just kind of a midsy breed project. Like this one is just a randomly named one. That's the hot genetic. Got it. It's like, huh. Well, what do you know? No testing, no nothing. You got it overseas that fast. It's sad to see because then the casual grower or consumer is Google searching something, the best SEO website they're finding all the time, and boom, now all of a sudden you've got people who are thinking this line of stuff is shit. And I was one of those people where I was like, Pineapple Express is garbage. And then I finally had it and it was such a smack in the face of terps. I'm like, okay, I see why people like this. Same with gelatos. First one I had was so mild because it was a whitewashed white label. Then I had a real one. I was like, woo. And this was way after it was hot and then it was played out. And I was like, man, gelatos are fire. Everyone in California was like, that shit's so last year. Because it's the trendy, let's move past it. And by doing that, you have people keeping up with the Joneses and they're tossing out these replicas that don't do justice to these lines. Runts is the best example today because everything is a something Runts. Something Runts. I'd say gelatos are not fading out, but people are realizing that the name gelato and something isn't as hot, so let's call it something else. Let's breed it down to a new thing. I'd like to see the preservation of the lines more than the originals. So it's like if you're going to keep doing gelatos, call it something different if it doesn't have any gelato effect, but otherwise keep it in the dessert name category. So if I'm going to send somebody to find it, they know it's like, this sounds similar. This is a Cheshire Farms cookie. It's like, well, this will be a cookie flavor then, I assume. It's like, yes, for sure. It's not just giving that name out of irony. Like a lot of genetics. We're like, no, because the buns look like they're. This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.